This is Larry Jordan, the host of the Digital Production Buzz. The following interview is an excerpt from a recent program. To hear the entire program, visit digitalproductionbuzz.com. Andy Maisner is the founder and president of TV Procure. This is a company that specializes in the design, engineering, and assembly of television stations and mobile video production systems, along with in-house production and video rentals. Hello, Andy. Welcome.
How are you doing, Larry?
I am so excited to be talking to you because my favorite thing in the world are remote trucks. And we're going to be talking about remote trucks today. How can you not get excited about that?
They are fun to build and design and fun to use, too.
Well, start at the beginning. What is TV Procure?
Well, we build, as you said, television systems, primarily video trucks, entire TV stations, and we specialize in fly packs as well.
Now, what's a fly pack?
It's a multi-camera system used for shooting live events like concerts and sporting events and conferences. And it's typically with 6 cameras. It's all in one box. You can put it on a plane, train, or automobile and shoot anywhere in the world.
Well, why a fly pack and not a remote truck? What are the two differences?
Smaller, lighter, easy to get into places. Bloomberg bought 2 of them from us. They used it recently to shoot at the White House with President Obama. And we have a number of them that have gone out and shot four TED Talks in the last couple of years.
Well, we'll talk more about that a little bit later. If I remember correctly, you started TV Procure in your garage in 1997. Why?
Well, it was an accident, believe me. At the time, I was directing a TV series called America's Dumbest Criminals, and the producer sold off the series to Barry Diller, who wanted to move it to Memphis, and I didn't want to go to Memphis, so the producer said sell off the station, all the equipment, and I made us a lot of money and found out this was an easy way to make money, and then people kept asking me to build things.
And it grew from that?
Yeah. Yeah, and finally my neighbors complained to the police that I was running a business out of the house and I had to move to a real building.
So who are some of your clients after you stopped being arrested for building stuff in your garage?
AT&T does a lot with us. Bloomberg, as I mentioned, Comcast, NBC, Fox Sports, ABC. Those are the big ones. We have a lot of clients foreign now. We're building a TV station in Bangladesh for Nanobase, building another station in Nigeria. We sold a video truck to Nigeria in December. And we have projects going in Guatemala and Jamaica. And Trinidad, we did 2 projects this year. So it's pretty much all around the world.
One of the hot buzzwords that's going right now is 4K. What's your opinion on 4K?
Well, clearly it's here to stay for and ideal for scripted material, single camera or even multi-camera. But for sports and for concerts, it's not quite there yet. A lot of people don't realize, well, first of all, the bigger the sensor of a camera, the shallower the depth of field or depth of focus. And so while that gives you the film look, it's not so great for shooting live events where you don't know where the talent's going.
Which means that you've got to be critically sharp on your focus or everything is out of focus, which is the definition of what sports is not.
Really hard to stay in focus. And secondly, if you look at these TV, you see the big cameras with giant zoom lenses. Well, those zoom lenses are 50, 60, even 100 times zooms. There's no such lens for a 4K big sensor camera right now. About the most is a 12-to-1. So you really don't have the lenses you need to do sports properly. Those big lenses, by the way, have I know a lot of your viewers will know that the more telephoto, the harder it is to keep it from vibrating. So the big lenses all have optical stabilization in them, which is why they're so expensive. And again, those lenses are not available for big sensor 4K cameras. So a number of manufacturers are currently introducing 2/3 inch sensor, the same as your traditional camera. They'll use the 2/3 inch lenses. So more pixels in the same size sensor, but you can use the standard lenses.
Well, one of the things that NHK was doing is they were experimenting with 8K video, and rather than panning the camera like we traditionally do, they would take an 8K picture and do a region of interest where they were
Right.
they were taking essentially a window from that 8K frame. Would that work in a 4K environment as well?
Yeah, they're definitely, that is being done, and they are using 4K in the NFL, for example, doing that exact method, but it's still a specialized function.
I was just thinking that with 4K, we don't have a distribution system for people to watch a 4K image. So they'd have to downsample to 1080, which takes 3/4 of the resolution away for people to be able to watch a live event at home.
You're not supposed to talk about that because companies selling 4K TVs are going to be upset.
Well, you can get it with what's called over the top. If I'm looking at YouTube, I can get a 4K picture
Right.
from YouTube, but I can't get a
Right.
4K picture from my cable system or over the air.
Right. A number of tests have been run so that you can broadcast 4K. Obviously, it'll be highly compressed. It's coming. The Standards Committee, both SEMTI and EBU in Europe, have kind of finalized on a 4K standard for transmission over the air. It'll be here soon enough.
Soon enough.
Yeah.
Well, one of the, I will confess, I went to NAB 3 years ago. I go to NAB fairly often. I went to NAB 3 years ago. I was in the central hall, and there, standing in front of me, was a remote truck. It was a standard 44-foot semi. And I called my wife. I said, wife, I'm standing in front of a brand new remote truck. It's $6 million. I have to buy it. Now, she's very smart. She did not say no, because then, I would have whipped out the Amex card and bought the remote truck on the spot. She said,
Two of them, probably.
where are you going to park it? At which point I realized I have no place to park a 44-foot remote truck at home. But you build remote trucks.
Right.
And I want to play, for everybody to watch, I want to play a promotional video that TV Procure created showcasing the latest technology in remote trucks. Take a look.
TV Procure's Model 3224 video production truck is designed for shooting sports, concerts, and live events. Because equipment has been getting smaller and lighter, productions that used to require a 40-foot truck can now be done in a 32-foot truck. An equipment machine room is no longer required because all the equipment fits in and under the production consoles. This saves money and lets the truck go where bigger trucks cannot go. The productions can be transmitted in real time via microwave or over the internet. A satellite uplink is optional. The truck is equipped with a computerized auto leveling system. Electric awnings are included to shade the truck and keep rain and snow out. They will retract automatically if the wind or storm gets too strong. Powerful LED work lights surround the truck. In case of a power failure, all equipment will keep running on the automated backup battery system until the operator turns on the 20,000-watt diesel generator. Redundant dual 5-ton air conditioners keep the truck at a comfortable temperature, even in hot tropical climates. Inside the main cabin of the truck is the production area. The 4A HVS 390 switcher has 2 mix effect buses, 6 keyers, 24 inputs, and 8 outputs. A 6-channel instant replay system is used for shooting sports. The truck is wired for 8 cameras with full remote control. The shader controls the cameras by using the waveform monitor, vector scope, and precision LED monitor. A robotically controlled camera with a 36x zoom lens is mounted on top of the 56-foot microwave mast. SSD recorders are used for both the line cut and camera ISOs. 2 frame synchronizers with up, down, and cross conversion ability enable the truck to input or output any type of video signal, including SDI, component, and composite. Graphics and titles are created using a dual Chiron Lex 3. A Streambox 9450 Internet encoder is used for streaming to the Internet. 6 channels of intercom are available, 2 wired and 4 wireless. In addition, there are 4 IFB channels for cueing talent or announcers. The audio room features a 40-input digital mixer. The mixer has extensive audio effects, sound processors, delays, and filters. A second area is provided for an audio assist operator. TV Procure trucks are built to last. The rivetless aluminum construction won't leak or rust. The outside door handles and locks are of the highest quality, so the equipment inside will be secure.
Andy, I have to ask, how much is that truck?
That one was $1.6 million.
I could afford 3 of them.
Sure.
This is great.
Well, we offer, low interest financing. That one went to Trinidad, by the way, to the PBS station in Trinidad.
And it had 6 cameras? Mm-hmm. What are clients specking?
Actually, had 6, but it was wired for 8. And the interesting thing on that was Trinidad was a British colony, so it's right-hand drive, which was kind of a challenge.
I can imagine. What are clients specking in trucks these days? What gear do they want?
Lately, well, of course, there's the traditional Grass Valley, Sony, but there also has been a lot of activity with Ross Open Platform because it's a little less money without a sacrifice in quality, and because so many things come from Ross, the way they interact, you get a lot more power in the capabilities.
Are they looking for HD, 4K? How are they specking in terms of resolution?
Everything's HD. Of course, all equipment now is digital, is menu switchable, HD, SD, PAL, NTSC, or any. Basically, our systems do any frame rate and any format, 1080p. They're all universal.
Are clients specking the gear, or are they looking to you for recommendations on what gear to use?
I would say 80% go with what we recommend. 20% will have a preference. We are authorized dealer for over 120 manufacturers, so we don't really care, except we try to give our best advice.
How do you decide which gear to recommend? Do you put it through tests, or what kind of background, what testing, I guess, is what I'm looking for?
In Glendale, California, we have our TV Technology Center, which is actually a fully working television station. And we test things. We don't use it for anything except seminars, testing, and client demos and training. But it allows us to test equipment under a real-world environment, and everything gets run through, and we see how it works and functionality. The other thing that we really have a benefit, we do at least one lunch and learn every week where we have a different vendor come in. They go through all their products, what the features are, what's new, what's out. And so that's our challenge, to always stay on top of everything so we know what to recommend.
Well, thinking of that, it's more than just television production that's doing video work. There's churches and schools. Are you seeing interest in your gear from those venues as well?
Yeah, we do quite a few schools and quite a few churches. We did Lancaster Baptist out in Lancaster, California, which is a mega church with 5 robotic cameras and then 2 operator-controlled.
Would they be more permanent installations, or are they doing fly packs?
No, those are with a control room. The most interesting one we did recently is for 40 years, the Navy has had the Nimitz-class aircraft carriers. There's a completely new design called the Gerald Ford class, and we got the contract to build the on-ship TV and radio station. And it is an entire functional TV station. So the sailors, a typical aircraft carrier has over 5,000 sailors, so it's a floating city. And as you can imagine, they have hip-hop bands, rap bands, country western bands. So the sailors can actually make their own videos on the ship, which are then available live and on demand. It's also used by the captain and officers for mission statements. And most importantly, what are called best practices. So, for example, if a sailor finds a better way to service some little pump or turbocharger, he can go and make a video on this new procedure, and then it'll be propagated throughout the Navy to every ship using that same part.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it is.
One of the things you talked about at the beginning that I want to take a look at is this whole concept of fly packs, which is essentially a shippable production studio. Actually, production gear, because it's not the studio.
Right.
But if I remember correctly, there's a fly pack that you created back in 1978. I want to see if we can take a look at that.
Of course, I wasn't born then.
No, you were way too young.
Yeah.
But let's see if we've got that photograph of a fly pack and see what that looks like. Wait a minute. The guy in the red jacket has got hair. What is the problem here?
Not only that, he's much thinner than me. I think he's related. No, yeah, I was.
And the fly pack, if I'm looking at it, this has got a 2-inch portable quad videotape recorder. That was before U-Matics came in.
Before 1-inch, before U-Matics, yeah. And that recorder made by Ampex cost $90,000 in 1978 dollars, so it'd be like $1 million today, and it worked about half the time.
Yeah, I remember those, and they were so fragile.
And so noisy. Remember how noisy they were?
I do remember. I remember just trying to pick up a quad tape. A 90-minute quad tape required an extra derrick to be able to pick up.
Yeah, this was before satellite distribution of signals.
Let's go to what the fly pack looks like today. Now, this is the brand new one. This is the shot where this is a full production console.
Right. That particular fly pack has 6 cameras and 6 channels of instant replay in slow motion and 2 channels of computer graphics. Has a 64 by 64 video router and audio router, wireless intercom and wired intercom. So it's pretty much can do anything you need to do.
Now, just to ask a hard question, but why wouldn't somebody get a TriCaster? I mean, it'd be much smaller, fits into a smaller space, would probably not cost as much. Why should they invest in a fly pack?
Actually, we built a fly pack with a TriCaster switcher. One of the ones we built for Bloomberg has a TriCaster. We built another fly pack for CMAC Public Access in Fresno. So we do build TriCaster ones. If people have a constrained budget, they're very good. There always is that possibility of the blue screen of death. And so if you're a network or call letter station, you can't afford to ever go down. So those cases, we don't generally recommend the TriCaster.
The fly packs that we were just looking at, price range would be what?
So the TriCasters start out at about $80,000. The 6-camera full-blown Ross open platform is about $600,000.
As you're looking at trends from client specking gear and where the video's headed, what are you watching? What's the thing that's going to happen in the next 6 to 12 months we need to pay attention to?
I do think 4K is the wave of the future. I always poo-pooed 3D. I had a saying that the path to bankruptcy is paved with bricks made out of efforts on 3D. I've seen them come and go in my life. But 4K, I believe, will happen because it does have some advantages.
Even for broadcast and cable?
Yes.
So how are they going to cram it in? That's where the H.265 spec comes in?
Yeah, there's HVEC also, which is H.265. So there'll be new ways. And then, bandwidth to the home will increase over time. So it's viable. And you can, of course, still broadcast it in HD, the evergreen factor. So you as a producer, if you're creating material that may be reused or has value over time, you really should be doing it in 4K to preserve the value. Just like in the old days, if you did black and white when color was coming in.
True, or, when we're shooting, if you can shoot 35 versus 16, if you can afford it, you've always got the higher quality to work with.
Right.
For people that want to hire your services or ask for a donation of a remote truck for a well-deserving podcast like ourselves, where can they go on the web to learn more?
TVProgear.com. That's TV like television, pro like professional, and gear like a gear shift.
That's all one word, tvprogear.com. Andy Maisner is the founder in his garage in 1997 and the CEO of TV Pro Gear, which is based in Glendale.
Yes.
Can people come and take a look at the stuff you've got?
We love people to come over and play with our toys and gadgets and gadgets.
And seminars, where can they go to find out about those?
Those are posted on our website, and also if they sign up for our newsletter. And we don't bomb people with emails once a month. That's it.
Perfect. Andy, thanks so much for joining. This has been great fun.
Thank you for having me.
Take care. My pleasure.